Monthly recommendations for January, best first book in a series. Hey guys, welcome back to Book Your Imagination. My name is Anne. Monthly Recommendations is a Goodreads group moderated by Kayla from Kayla Rain and Trina from Between Chapters. I have links to their channels and the Goodreads group below. January's monthly recommendation topic is best first book in a series. So when I was coming up with my list for these recommendations, I set 3 criteria for myself. The first is that I could not have discussed this book in the last year on my channel. The second is I wanted the book to have been published 2 or more years ago. That's because I want to introduce you to books you might not have heard about before. And I did break this for at least one series. And the third criteria was I wanted to include indie authors as well as published authors. So here are my recommendations. So my first recommendation is The Eye of Minds, which is the first book in the Mortality Doctrine by James Dashner. It was first published in 2013. This is similar to Ready Player One, where most of the population hooks up to a machine and they live in a virtual net. Michael and his 2 friends are the best of the best hackers, and the virtual net security forces recruit them to find a dangerous hacker. There are 3 books in the series. The second book is okay, and the third book is really terrible, so I don't recommend the series as a whole, and it just makes me wonder what happened, because this first book is amazing. My next recommendation is Queen Air by Jamin Eve and Leah Stone. This is the book that I broke my rule for. It was published in December of 2016. These are indie authors. This is a YA supernatural romance about wolf shifters and bear shifters in the boroughs of New York City. There are 4 books in the series, and the 4th book was published last month, December 2017. So she did 4 books in this series last year, and they are all really good. My next recommendation is Reliquary, the first book in the Reliquary series by Sarah Fine. Sarah Fine is an indie author, and this is another series I broke maybe a couple of my rules to recommend to you. This was published in 2016. This is a new adult fantasy with romantic elements. Maddie's fiance Ben has been kidnapped, and Maddie is determined to find out why. Her investigation leads her to the shadowy underworld of magical mobs, and the only person who's going to be able to help her find Ben is his estranged brother Asa. There are 3 books in this series. I loved all 3 books, but I hated the ending of the 3rd book, so I am hoping that she will give us a 4th book and give us the ending that we deserve for this series. My next recommendation is also by Sarah Fine, Sanctum, which is book 1 in Guards of the Shadowlands series. This was first published in 2012. There are 3 books in this series, and I gave 5 stars to all 3 books. This is a YA fantasy novel about Layla, whose best friend Nadia has committed suicide, but Layla is determined to save her friend's soul, so she goes to the Shadowlands to rescue her. My next recommendation is Angel Fall, which is book 1 of Penryn and the End of Days by Susan E. This was first published as an indie book in 2011, but it's since been picked up by a major publisher. This is a YA fantasy. Angels have revealed themselves to humans, but in a bitter battle with each other. They don't really care about us at all. One group of angels has kidnapped 17-year-old Penryn's wheelchair-bound little sister, and Penryn will do anything to get her back. There are 3 books in this series. I had a few issues with book 2, but overall I think the series is really good. And my final recommendation is A Hidden Fire, which is book 1 in the Elemental Mysteries series by Elizabeth Hunter. Elizabeth Hunter is an indie author, and this was first published in 2011. This is a new adult fantasy romance about Giovanni Vecchio, a vampire who has been searching for a manuscript for over 500 years. He meets a librarian, Beatrice De Novo, who might be able to help him find the manuscript and unlock its secrets. There are 4 books in this series. I loved the series. So those are my recommendations for best first book in a series. As always, this is #JMO, just my opinion. If you like what you see in here, please consider subscribing to my channel, give it a thumbs up, and leave me a comment below. Thank you for watching.